Hey, what's up, guys? Got a couple things I want to talk about in this video. The first being the experience that I just went through this past week. Now, if you don't want to hear me talk about disgusting things, then I suggest you fast forward through this portion of the video and go on to the wrestling portion. But I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. Last Saturday, me and a couple buddies, we went to a local Mexican restaurant, one we've been to numerous times before. We had a couple beers, had some good Mexican food. Anyways, a couple hours later, after I was home, I wasn't feeling too good. Kind of like the Mexican food wasn't agreeing with me. So I threw up. Everything seemed okay. Food came out, felt a little better. But then I threw up again. And what I saw on the toilet was scary to say the least, because there's nothing but blood in the toilet. I was like, there's something wrong here. So I go right to the ER, and I get to the ER a little after midnight, so early Sunday morning, you could say. And they take me right to the back. They take me right in, and they look at me. They shove a hose through my nose, goes down the back of my throat, and then into my stomach. And they couldn't pull anything out. They basically said that I was full of it. The ER did. They said that I was full of crap, basically. That it's probably just a mixture of the food in your stomach to make it look like blood. So, no arguments. I said whatever, and I went on back home. Well, I get back home, and throughout the night, I just get more and more sick. More vomiting, cold chills, sweats. So I'm puking again, and nothing but blood is coming out. And I know there's something wrong with me. So 12 hours later, 12 noon on Sunday, I go back to the ER. I take the trash can with me full of blood, and I say, here, something is wrong with me. I came here last night. You all called me liar. Here, look at this trash can. Do I look like a liar? They saw it. They took me right back again. And this time, I had an ER crew that knew what they were doing. And they put me in the hospital. So I was in the hospital from Sunday to Thursday. And I lost a lot of blood. Apparently, when I threw up that Mexican food, the force of the throw up was so bad that it ripped my esophagus open. And I was bleeding internally into my stomach. And they had to put 4 pints of blood back into me. Now, you guys might not think that's much, but compared to the human body, 4 pints of blood is a lot of blood. I could have died. And if I didn't go back to the hospital, I would have. So I'm very fortunate enough to be here today. I've never had to stay in the hospital ever. I've been to the hospital numerous times, but I never had to stay overnight. And the first time that I do it right. I can laugh at it now because it's over and I'm okay. But at the time, my God, it was a scary situation. But they went inside. I don't know if you want to call it a surgery, but I guess it was. They knocked me out, and they went through my mouth and down the back of my throat into my stomach with a tube that had a camera on it. And they had a TV screen that was showing the insides of my stomach. Of course, I didn't get to see that because I was knocked out. But that's how they fixed me up. They went inside with the camera, looked for the problem, found the problem, and then they went through my stomach again, through my throat, down into the stomach, and fixed my esophagus. So I'm very fortunate enough to be here. I became very anemic when losing all that blood. So I'm on iron pills now. So hopefully I'll get my blood cell count back up, and I'll be all right. But it was a very, very crazy experience to say the least. But enough about that. Now I want to talk about some wrestling. I got to watch Monday Night Raw in the hospital. That was kind of cool. I guess it was cool. So I saw Raw. It was live. I know it wasn't live, I should say, but it was from London, England. I thought the show was pretty good. I made a video last week talking about R-Truth, being in the main event at Extreme Rules for the WWE Championship. Everybody was talking about how that was just kind of odd, seeing as how R-Truth, just hasn't been built properly. He wasn't at WrestleMania, and now all of a sudden he's in the WWE Championship match. I kind of thought that was a weird thing for the WWE to do, and come to find out, they knew it was weird too, because this past Monday night, that changed. John Morrison, R-Truth, they had a nice little segment at the beginning of the show. They basically ended up having a match, and John Morrison won. And since he won that match, he is now taking R-Truth's spot in the triple threat match, which I think is great. I think John Morrison, I think he deserves that a little bit more than R-Truth does. John Morrison, amazing in the ring. Sure, not very good on the mic, but the WWE just needs to give him a little bit more of a chance to shine on the mic. He just doesn't really get to talk that often. But nonetheless, something else happened that night. R-Truth makes a heel turn. I mean, a good heel turn too. A heel turn that I don't think I've ever really seen happen before. I've never really seen a heel turn quite like this. I was watching this in the hospital, and I was going to myself, this is so cool, but so weird. I mean, R-Truth was beating on John Morrison, but after every move, he would go down and console him and give him a hug. I was like, this is so weird, so sick and sadistic. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it's crazy how R-Truth can go from being jobber. I don't like using the word jobber, but we'll use jobber in this case. He goes from being like a jobber to being cool, just like that. It's amazing how you can just change the character just a little bit and make the character work, because it really did work for him. Being a heel, even though we've only seen him as a heel for just a short period of time, I can already tell that it's working. I just loved how he was hitting them with the move. He would go down and console them, Then he breaks out the cigarettes because, of course, they had a promo, and John Morrison was bringing up the fact that R-Truth's a smoker and that he's kind of out of shape because he was drinking water during the series of matches that he had the week before on Raw. And R-Truth played that up, because during the match that he had with John Morrison, he went out, got some water, took some time, had a cigarette. Man, it was funny. I thought it was great. When he blew the smoke in John Morrison's face, I was like, now that's it right there. R-Truth, that's a heel. He's going to kick some ass as a heel. I hope he does at least. So, of course, you got John Morrison now in this triple threat match at Extreme Rules. I don't see John Morrison winning that match, especially since what happened with R-Truth and him. I see R-Truth playing a small part in that match, maybe costing John Morrison the match. Who knows? But I did find it interesting that R-Truth had a heel turn. It was just so weird and great at the same time. I just couldn't believe it. Michael Cole also got knighted on this past Monday Night Raw. A lot of people are saying they're tired of seeing Michael Cole, that he gets way too much TV time, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to agree with you guys. I do believe he is getting a little bit too much, but they're just adding fuel to the fire of Michael Cole. They're just adding more and more things to his arsenal, because now that he is knighted and everyone's calling him Sir Michael Cole, that just gives him more of a reason to be a more pompous ass. You know what I mean? I love Michael Cole as a heel. I've been a Michael Cole fan ever since he started this whole change from being the guy that always rants and raves about John Cena to now being the guy that really just likes every heel that comes out. That's what the WWE needs. I've been saying this for so long. The announce team, the commentators that sit at ringside and call the match for the people that are watching at home, they play a huge role in the wrestling world. It doesn't seem like they do nowadays, but man, they really did back in the day, and they still do to this day. You got to think about it. You have heel wrestlers and you have face wrestlers. It only makes sense to have that as well in the commentating booth. A heel announcer and a face announcer. And for the longest time, the WWE went away with that. They had nothing but face announcers. All they did was talk about the good guys and how awesome they were. You never had that guy that stood on the other side of the fence, you know, and talked about the bad guys as if they were a good guy, you know. Heels need that. The commentator's job is to really call the match, of course. Of course, they're going to call the match, but they're also there to tell the story of the wrestlers that are in the ring. The announcers are there to help illustrate the story, the storyline. You know, two wrestlers are in a feud with one another. It's the announcer's job to give us insight and more detail about that feud. And Jim Ross was a master at doing that. Here's a guy that can call a match and make any match epic, but he's also good at giving you background about each wrestler, talking about what they did when they were in college, or what they did before they wrestling, or he's just really good at just building more of the story between the two wrestlers. And I think that's what they've been missing. The announce team, as of late, they don't really focus on what's going on in the ring anymore. You hardly ever hear him actually call a match. But Michael Cole, you can love him or hate him. There really is no in-between with Michael Cole. I love him. I think he's great. I do agree he needs to maybe get off TV just a little bit more. He's on there a lot. I love his commentating. I love Booker T commentating as well. Great mix on SmackDown. And I'm glad that JR is back on Raw. I think that's a great addition. Very, very entertaining. Having JR commentate matches is like, it's like pure bliss. I'll never forget when he came back and on that old school Raw and called the Jack Swagger match. Wow. It was like wrestling had changed all over again. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's that. So let me know what you guys think about topics discussed in the video. R-Truth being a heel, very cool stuff. I really enjoy that. And of course, Michael Cole continuing his reign as the top heel of the WWE. No doubt, Michael Cole is the top heel in the business right now. He is without a doubt the master of his craft. And I really hope that Michael Cole can just continue to do what he does. A little less on the TV, more on commentating, but, you know, we'll see what happens. But that's it for now. This is Gold Izzy. Peace.